So for anyone that don't know, where I really started pumping out videos on YouTube was TBC Classic. So when I'm streaming over on kick.com/Scottejaye, which actually I'm taking a little break at the moment, just for a week or so, because I really want to focus on videos. But what I keep getting asked is, am I going to play TBC Classic Anniversary Edition 2.7, whatever it's called? And the answer is really, maybe. Now, I've really been heavily investing myself back into, well, midnight preparation. So I've been playing a lot of Legion Remix, and actually the new phase dropped today. So instead of out walking a dog, I should really be actually doing the new raid and the new dungeon, but I'll do that later. But overall, I've been sinking all my time into Legion Remix, the Midnight Alpha, and then obviously the war within itself, getting ready. Now, in terms of the first phase of content in any expansion, I actually would say TBC is the best. I think the only one that comes remotely close is probably Cataclysm, but we won't talk about Cataclysm. So going around and doing your attunements, doing heroic dungeons that actually are quite difficult and in some cases require CC, cooldowns being used at the right place. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to scaremonger and make it sound like heroic 5-mans in TBC are ridiculously challenging, but compared to any content that we've had recently, so with things like the MOP dungeons or MOP heroics, even Cataclysm heroics, I don't think even the hardest version of the Cataclysm heroics were actually as hard as TBC heroics. But think about MOP heroics or even MOP celestials that are meant to be a step up. They're nothing compared to TBC heroics. The same goes for Wrath of the Lich King or even Cataclysm. Everyone remembers Cataclysm heroics as being really difficult, but like we kind of proved when Cataclysm Classic came out, even though we was in sort of a final patch state and everything, they weren't difficult at all. Where when it comes to TBC heroics, literally one step wrong and you can wipe the group. Now, what makes it easier is the fact that we already know them all and we literally done them a few years ago. I think my main problem when it comes to TBC is the raids. And I know loads of people remember the raids as being absolutely amazing and maybe the best raiding experience that they've had in World of Warcraft's history. I'd agree wholeheartedly if we're talking about Karazhan. But outside of that, Gruul, Mag, TK, SSC, they're all kind of very low to mid-tier raids in my opinion. Mount Hydra, once you've done it once, you'll never want to go back, and Black Temple is kind of okay, but I kind of feel like I've done Black Temple to death, even the amount of times that I've been back for various reasons in various different expansions. For me, the things that actually make TBC really good is not necessarily the raids, it's the professions, the attunements. Even the gear progression feels pretty good, but as I say, there are a few things that I'm not a particular fan of, like group swapping for drums, which we know is going to have tinnitus, so that's definitely not going to be in the game because they took that out in original TBC, which is kind of why I'm having a hard time actually saying, yep, I'm definitely going to play TBC Anniversary Edition, because it genuinely don't feel that long since we was doing it the last time. But with that being said, I think it all comes down to the actual launch date, because yes, I would probably only play phase 1 because, as I said, for me personally, phase 1 is just the best phase. All of the rush, the prep, the getting your professions done, getting attuned, getting in the raids, and then it would be around that time where I'd guess we'd probably be looking at midnight launching anyway, around the same time as TBC phase 2. Now that's not all. The Mr. Pandaria treatment, as I'm going to call it, with what the devs done for the first phase of content with class tuning, in my opinion was probably the best thing that they've done for any classic version of the game for, well, a very long time. When it comes to TBC, especially early on, we already know the classes that are going to be absolutely blasting in the first phase, blasting in the second phase, blasting in the third phase. You get what I'm saying. It's already solved. We already know exactly how it's going to be. So for example, being a hunter and just having to get 4-set Beast Lord from dungeons and being able to top damage is really nice if you're the one that wants to play the hunter, but kind of sucks if you want to play any other class. Of course, warlocks are ridiculously overpowered. As you start to get your crafted gear, all classes pick up. Now, if you've watched me for all these years, you know back in original TBC, I was playing a Feral Druid, and I was doing very well as a Feral Druid. So while you absolutely can play every class and spec, if we're talking about actually bringing the classes in line a little bit, some tuning on Blizzard's end would be something that actually got me excited to try TBC again, because all of a sudden, it goes from being TBC to TBC Plus. No, not TBC Plus, just TBC with some good class balance. Now, while we already know TBC is going to feel fantastic because of having things like dual spec, which is going to be in the game from launch, which is already in Anniversary, which back in original Classic was actually a big complaint of mine, because let's face it, who wants to play WoW without dual spec nowadays? But while I'm sure they could go to the drawing board and look at implementing even things like the Celestial dungeons from Mr. Pandaria, so let's step up those heroic TBC dungeons by adding like a TBC variant of the Celestial dungeons. So When Tier 5 launches, you can start getting Tier 4 gear. Even if they labelled it Celestial and they knocked 5 or 6 item level off the gear, so it was kind of like the equivalent of the Celestial / Raid Finder gear that we're obviously used to when it comes to Mr. Pandarian. Now, I'll be completely honest, I'm not a fan of Celestial dungeons. I never have been, but I do also have to appreciate the fact that for the more casual player, they are really good. I take my own brother as an example who plays pretty casually. He does more Celestials than anyone I know, because he just enjoys leveling, getting some gear, and then kind of moving on to the next character. He's not bothered about raiding full heroic clears and all of that. So the Celestials do have their place. So having something like that in TBC, with dual spec, with class tuning, for me, I think that would be enough for me to say that I'll definitely play it. But do I really want to play a classic TBC 2.0 with no changes since the last time we played it, which was not that many years ago? No. So I just wanted to take the dog out and talk to you about why I might not be playing TBC Classic, because I think it's took a lot of people by surprise that I'm so hesitant to actually jump on board, get on anniversary and start preparing, because I actually did try, in all fairness, and I got to like level 22 and then absolutely hated my life because of how slow the leveling is. That's why I've been playing retail. I've still got quite a long walk back, but I'm going to put all my focus fully on my little bear here. What are you chasing? Go on, mate. Make sure you like and subscribe, as always, and I'll see you on the next dog walk. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit of a theme. Bye.